Well, oh my God. I guess we're doing this NCAA tournament thing officially now. That all but put Michigan State into the big dance. What a way to do so, though. We have Graham Nelson, a man who never lost the faith of this game, on to talk about that whirlwind of a game with us. Let's get going.
Are Locked On Spartans, your daily podcast on the Michigan State Spartans, part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
Spartan friends, Spartan family, Locked On Spartans listeners, welcome to a very joyous episode. It was always going to be joyous. Come on, there was never a doubt of that game. Another joyous episode of Locked On Spartans. Before I let this strapping gentleman next to me talk, hey, that's right. This episode is brought to you by FanDuel Sportsbook, official sportsbook of Locked On. Make every moment more. Visit FanDuel.com/LockedOn today to get started. This is Graham Nelson next to me. And look, Michigan State was down 12 at halftime against Nebraska. Was looking awful. Michigan State not shooting well. Terrible body language. Nebraska was cooking on senior night. And one of us was a hater. One of us said that I'm ready to record a halftime, actually. This game is over. I've seen enough. We'll see everyone again Saturday for a game. See if they want to play then. And another person just graded all things in life, and that includes predicting the end of games where Michigan State is down 12 points. That'd be you, Graham. So you get to talk. You're the smart one between the two of us because I did not think that was going to end the way it did. That was crazy.
I mean, I'm really, really glad that it worked out that way. And like you immediately tweeted out our DMs, and like, I'm glad for multiple reasons. I'm glad that they won. I'm also glad because, for whatever, it makes me look relatively intelligent for a short period of time.
You are a savant.
Yeah, but I honestly, honest to God, I never felt like Michigan State was going to lose tonight. Like,
wow,
it looked bad. It looked really, really bad. But if you, I was just watching the game, man, these guys are getting good shots. And if you look at the past 3 weeks, Michigan State, even though they have 2 losses, has been playing they essentially have not been the better team not including the Nebraska game, but not been the better team in their last 5 games for a total of about 4 minutes of game time.
Yeah.
Right. If you look at towards the end of Michigan and then obviously the the Iowa game. And they were getting really, really good shots. They were just missing them. And at some point, stupid phrase, but water finds its level, and the level was up. And I mean, that's the way that I felt. And on the other side of it is Nebraska was, you look at a dude who's shooting 26% from 3, hitting a 30-footer.
Unconscious. Yeah.
Yeah. Right. In that kind of happens. Then you got, I can't pronounce his name, but he's hitting crazy shots. And I know he's a good shooter and everything like that, but.
Tominaga.
Yeah. But it was just it was just one of those things that everything was going their way. Every little tiny thing, every loose ball, and not just from an effort-related loose ball, every little tip, the ball would bounce weird ways. It was going Nebraska's way. And Michigan State was still right there. Now, if they would have gone into halftime down 16 or 18, I think that's I probably would have been yeah, dude, let's just record and call it good. Sure. But once they kind of chunked it down to 12, 10, and they were right there, I kind of felt all right, I didn't think it was going to end up kind of as lopsided as it did. I think the next message was they might cover was the was my next message to you.
You might have said they will cover, I think. I'm going to go back in the files here. They're probably going to win. I'm telling you right now, probably even cover is what you sent to me as MSU was down 12, coming off of a half with just some of the worst body language you could ever imagine to end a half as well. And I'm sorry to start an episode like this, talking about the first half of a game where the second half won it for them. But I think it tells the story of the game because, look, you talked about water finding its level. Michigan State was going to start making these open shots. The game started it was a correction from the Iowa game. All right, hey, you shot 60% from 3 against Iowa. Of course you're going to miss some of these open shots. I thought it was just going to be a game-long thing. It's just a game-long correction coming here over at Lincoln. And yeah, a lot of things were going Nebraska's way. Michigan State was getting good shots, but it was the body language at the end of that half was not looking good at all. And also, like, after MSU got some good shots, they really had some possessions that were odd.
Mhm.
Passing up open threes. It's like, oh my God, are they just mentally shrinking where they don't even want to shoot the threes anymore? Like, we're passing up open threes for travels. We're passing up open threes to pass it to the guy that's a 28% shooter in AJ Hoggard. Like, it was like, oh my God, we're just mentally unraveling right now. But look, I don't know what happened at the locker room at halftime. Speak about it after the game a little bit. That AJ Hoggard went in there. Horrible of body language as I thought he had in the first half. I guess he walked into halftime and said, that's the worst basketball I've played. And Tom Izzo, responded to that with, yeah, ever. And so he took ownership, which is really good, really mature. That's what you want out of your junior point guard this late in the season too. So God, it's just
but I mean that's actually a really, really good point. I mean, think about last year, AJ Hoggard playing like terrible, right? He would never go in the locker room and own that and figure it out. And I mean, I know you're like semi joking about that, but like that's a huge turn. And the thing that I saw, if you look at the body language, it wasn't to me like we're giving up. Like they look pissed.
Okay.
Like, to me, like they looked mad, and you saw even Tyson Walker kind of like, I don't want to use this.
He was ready for the second half.
I don't want to use like the cheap word, but he was taking a few little shots there at people, and like, all right, like I'm not.
Whatever gets you going. Yeah.
I'm not saying you want to hurt anyone, but I'm saying like I don't mind the fire a little bit. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I just thought it was really, really interesting that the second half obviously they've shot it really, really well, but the second half was much more common to how they've been playing than the first half was. And that's kind of what I am somehow growing to expect out of this team. And I think it has to do with the fact that they're finally healthy, finally playing together, finally got their feet under them. Malik Hall finally understands his role a little bit. Like they've all found their roles really well. And then Jaden Akins is he like the best player on the team? No, he's not.
Just saw his coming out party the last two games. I don't know, man. I mean, what did he? Hold on, what did he shoot today? Oh, just 5 of 9 from 3. That's all.
Yeah. What do you have? 17 points, 5 of 9 from 3. Like, and he started 0-4.
Yeah. Oh, and it was a nasty looking 0-4. Like he was getting good looks, and his first 2 shots like had side spin on it. I'm like, oh my heavens, that's a new wrinkle on an old twist. Okay,
little like this is just typical how you and our podcast go, but I want to know what the hell happened between he and Mark Montgomery. They were like screaming at each other, and then he buried a 3 right in front of him and turned around and screamed at him.
Yeah, Akins is like the least fiery guy in this team too. He has so much I love about his game, but like screaming and getting in people's faces, I don't remember that at least. So that was nice to see as well tonight. I mean, gets it going, man.
I think he like really wanted the ball. I mean, this is just like me watching from home, right? I think he really wanted the ball. He really wanted to play ran for him, and then Mark Montgomery ran a play that wasn't for him. So I think he yelled at him. Gotcha. Well, the ball ended up coming to him, and he buries a 3 anyways, and he turns and yells at him, runs back on the floor, comes back down the next, and Izzo's screaming at him, gets the ball again, buries another 3, and turns around and daps up his teammate.
Another one for you. Here's another one for you.
It's just like, I mean, like a little bit of, Cassius Winston at Penn State a few years back.
Yes.
And they're like screaming at each other.
Great comparison. That was one for the ages. I thought Cassius was going to swing on Tom during that game. I thought that was going to get like teeth on the floor ugly, but God, the boys rallied and won. So similar to the games tonight, man.
Anyways, I got us completely off topic there, but what else you want to talk about?
I want to talk about FanDuel right now. That was smooth. I felt like that was smooth. I didn't have a lot of smooth things to say on Twitter today, but like that was smooth right there.
I mean, I think you're ruining the smoothness right now. You could have just gone right into it, but whatever.
That's a really good point. I almost had a really fun day on FanDuel. I had a little bet out there. Michigan State to win by 6 to 10 points at plus 333. And lo and behold, how on earth does that bet lose? But not because Nebraska did well, but because Michigan State got above that. Whatever, that's beside the point, and I'm thrilled to lose that bet. Any comfortable win is a win I will take here. if you want to even call that comfortable. Gang, if you are not hip to FanDuel, what are you waiting for? We're talking about America's #1 sports book. Every new customer gets a no-sweat first bet up to $1,000. That's right. You're getting 1,000 smackaroos back in bonus bets if your first bet does not win. Just download the FanDuel Sportsbook app. It's safe, secure, super easy to use. Gang, you can bet on everything. I mean, we're talking college basketball. 'Tis the season for wagering some money on college basketball. NBA's in the mix, NHL in the mix. We got baseball starting up. Hey, they got it all for you at FanDuel, and they take care of you by paying you fast. That's right. Don't miss the chance to get your no-sweat first bet up to $1,000 in bonus bets when you go to FanDuel.com/lockedon. It's FanDuel.com/lockedon to learn more. Make every moment more with FanDuel, official sports betting partner of the NBA. Let's get Graham Nelson back off the bench here. The man who saw this win coming the entire time, not even moved in the first half. And there's just one more thing I want to bring up in the first half because, this is the yin and the yang from the first half to the second half. But going along with the bad body language, you astutely pointed out that you think it was just guys pissed off. I thought it was guys that were just kind of on a different planet just because of how they were in transition defense. Like what we've seen Michigan State do for years to other team historically under Tom Izzo is getting them when they're not looking, getting them with their head down. Like that happened to Michigan State more than we're used to. Second half, look, I know the offensive explosion in the second half with 54 points is the headline. You have Joey Hauser hitting multiple threes, Akins hitting multiple threes, Tyson Walker hitting multiple threes, Malik hitting multiple threes in the second half. But man, the defense too is something you got to talk about with that game as well. They looked locked in. And I tweeted this out too. It's like, this is going to be a fascinating spectacle of what this team looks like out of that half, because this could be a seminal moment for the rest of the season, or they can just let the game go. Just, mail it in. That's fine. Well, we'll get them. Okay. We got their answers on both ends of the floor. And, okay. I'll stop. Houston. Are we going to Houston, Graham? Let's get down to brass tacks here.
Book your tickets. No, okay. Honestly, they are good enough to do it if with the right path.
Yeah.
And with the right path, if they come across anybody with a dominating big,
that's going to be a problem.
It's just going to be a problem.
It's going to be a problem. Yeah.
But
Armando Bacot as an 11 seed as we're a 6 seed.
that's just what they need. But I think, they're scoring so much more efficiently now that
it's crazy.
It's
crazy. The ball movement is superb,
right?
As well. I can't believe it.
But you go back and watch the Purdue games or the Illinois game earlier this year. I don't think with the way this team is currently scoring right now, there is, in the way they're shooting three, if that continues, there is 0% chance we are ever doubling down in the post ever again.
Sure.
Because we're just going to say, hey, go eat, get your two. We are going to run you off the 3-point line. We're going to let you feed on the inside, go right ahead, because we're going to score right there with you.
Yeah.
So that is why there's a path. Now, the issue has come out multiple times against Michigan, against Iowa. Defensive rebounding, when you go with that small ball lineup, is it's non-existent, right? When you're having, Joey Hauser is a really good rebounder, but the dude's 6'9", we've seen him dunk one time in his career at Michigan State.
I don't even remember that. I'm going to shoot you straight.
You want to know how I remember that? Is because it was, I forget the game it was, but I was actually on the podcast with you and you came on and asked, anything good happened? I was like, we learned that Joey Hauser can dunk. That's why I remember it.
Blast from the past. Look at you. Great memory.
Yeah. So that's a big thing. I do think there is a path, but it has to be the right draw.
Yeah.
If they get, I don't even want to go down. We can go down this path at a different time, but I think there's a path. I think
this could be a 3-hour conversation. Yeah.
Yes.
Which I'm sure we will have eventually.
Yes.
I just got that small ball lineup though it's Graham. It's so good. That small ball lineup is so good. I'm going to name you the 3-point percentages of that small ball lineup. Of course, we're talking Tyson Walker, Joey Hauser, AJ Hoggard, Malik and Jaden Akins. Tyson Walker, 42.4%. Joey Hauser, 43.9%. AJ Hoggard, 29.7%. Malik Hall, 38.7%. Jaden Akins, 41.9%. We're talking three guys that are popping this puppy over 40%. A fourth guy that's shooting over 38%. And then, 29% is not great. But we have seen AJ Hoggard hit some moderately big threes in games before. I'm not calling him Steph Curry by any means, but that, those are the numbers and the lineups that you want as you are rolling into March here. And I understand not every game is going to be all three of these guys igniting, but you get two of these guys hot.
Well, that's so. Yeah, I mean, you look at where they're at now, right? I mean, you hear people talk you need three guys going at all time. Well, Michigan State can at this point you're counting on Hauser and Walker. They're going to get there probably 16 plus.
Yeah.
Right. And then after that, if you have essentially one of three guys between Akins, Hall, and Hoggard to say, hey man, you're the other dude that we need to get, that needs to get 14 or 15. And they can kind of pick their poison. That's why I think they have a path, and that's why they've been able to score as well as they have lately. Because I just don't see. I thought Tyson Walker, I thought he had 8 points tonight. I didn't even notice him until that last shot, and then I look at the stats.
He
He
was
had
just
19.
absolutely putting the dagger in them. Yeah, I know. It was a silent night for him. And then it's just like what you said. You look in the box score, it's just a casual 19, just something light. Couldn't believe it, man. Couldn't believe it.
Hard defensively because they were just face guarding and running in and running around guarding, and then I'm like, man.
Yeah.
Defense. I just go to Yahoo and check this. I was way off base on what I saw from him.
Man, it's exciting times. I think it's pause. I can't believe we're just having this conversation after what we saw in the first half.
The first half feels like it was 6 months ago.
I'm having a lot of fun.
Doesn't it?
Yeah. Oh man, so what does this put for? You know what? Let's even take a step back away from March Madness right now. What expectation do you have for the Big Ten tournament now? If that's a conversation that you want to even entertain, is this semifinal or bust, or are you finals or bust, or what do you feel for the Big Ten tournament now, or is this another thing where got to see the bracket to see it unfold completely?
I would like to see a bracket, but I really just want to see them get another shot at Purdue and or Illinois.
Okay.
Just to see okay, how do we match up there? Can we level up there? You showed against Indiana that you can level. I know Indiana's terrible at the Breslin Center, which is a whole weird thing, but
yeah, very.
You showed. I mean, you kicked the crap out of Indiana, who's really, really good, even though they got worked tonight. But
that was odd too. Yeah. Iowa does not shoot like that on the road. That was
no. I mean,
you talk about a correction. That was a correction of epic proportion.
Yeah, but I don't know. I don't care if they win. If they get to the finals, obviously I want to see them win. I want to see them win every game, but I'm not the Big Ten tournament title person. It's fun to have, but I don't really care. But I would love to see them get a game where they can play against one of those top tier teams. See, okay, in a tournament setting, how can we level up? Specifically Purdue. I do want to see what they look like against Purdue, but I mean, that's really all I'm concerned about. Just kind of see hey, well, what do you look like against a top tier team in a tournament setting? That's more what I'm concerned about.
I like that a lot. And I harken back to the days of 2015 when, they did take a pretty nice run in the Big Ten tournament and they played a top 10 Wisconsin team. And I think they took that game to overtime. They looked really good against that strong team after looking just the regular season. And then you could see this 7-seeded team might have the makings of a Final Four team. And sure enough, lo and behold, they do it. So if they could do that against Purdue, play Purdue close, if you will. God, I hate to take a moral victory before the ball is even tipped, but like based on what we've seen the last few games with how well the offense is clicking, and yeah, I understand that it helps when you make 30% of your 3-pointers on the road like they did against Iowa or light it up in the second half today, but the ball movement was incredible.
Yep.
Anyway, with all that said, if you take the sample size of the last 5-6 games of the season and you just have a close loss in the Big Ten tourney, like now we're seeing where the dream is, the vision that we've gone up and down with having throughout the season and peaking at the right time. Hopefully. Yeah. I hope, God, we're not jinxing the crap out of Saturday's game against Ohio State. But whatever. If they lose that game, at least we're still most likely in the tournament. It's like a 99.9% chance of happening now. The only way it happens is if the committee just forgets about us. But
yeah, I mean, is Nebraska home a quad 1 win?
I don't believe so. I got
Nebraska on the road.
Oh, I just closed out of that page. Nope, it's a quad 2 win. Okay. Unfortunately, they are just outside the top 100. And then, of course, Ohio State at home would be a quad 2 win as well. And then I just threw this in the Bart Torvik. Let's say you beat Penn State in the first round. Okay, that's a nice win. And then lose to Maryland. Bart Torvik actually has you right now after you beat Nebraska, you beat Ohio State, you win the first Big Ten tournament game, you lose your second one, last 6th seed in March Madness. Now, of course, that's not gospel. Okay, this is computers against human committees, but
don't have agendas, by the way. Committees that don't have agendas.
Never. Can I? I'm going to sidetrack right now. I'm so sorry. This isn't going to be about Michigan State at all right now, but I have a crippling addiction to bracketology. I will read any and every bracketology possible. It is a sickness. I get angry when I read the bracketologies where it's, last team in, Utah State, first team out, North Carolina. Grow up.
Yeah.
Grow up. The Tar Heels are making the tournament. You think this committee that is driven by TV ratings and dollars is going to say, put the Utah State Aggies in. Who needs a team that was in the title game last year? Who needs North Carolina? Grow up.
Yeah.
Anyway, so I just get so upset. No, I'm not gonna talk about how I get upset that Joe Lenardi only updates his bracketology every 4th day this time of the year, even though it's his only job at ESPN. I'm not gonna do it right now. I'm in a good mood, so I'm sorry.
Are you good?
I'm not. No, I haven't been good in days, Graham. This has been a tough stretch mentally upstairs for me. So, am I good? No.
Well, it's all relative, right? What were we talking about before you went on that?
No idea. The 6th seed. And because I thought the dream was dead after the Iowa game, but it turns out like they didn't lose a lot of spots in the net ranking after that Iowa game. Don't know how that works necessarily, but I'm not the guy that's in charge of net. But like that 6th seed dream is still alive. How important is it between like the 6th and the 7th seed in your opinion? Do you think there's that big of a jump between like the 2 seeds this season and like what the 3 seeds would be, or it's not much variance in your opinion?
I'm honest. I don't think there's much variance, but I just think it depends on who it is. Like, I don't want to see Houston.
Correct.
I don't.
UCLA gives me the willies a little bit.
I didn't want to see Alabama. Now I kind of do.
Yeah.
I don't.
Does Carter play a role in their NCAA run? Because like I could see like a higher power saying like, yeah, you guys are leaving the round of 32 with how you've handled your whole situation, or maybe karma is dead and they just bang out a Final Four run. I don't know.
Yeah, I don't think. I don't know. I think I'll probably stay away from that question. Let's really break it down. I mean, I don't.
Let's talk about what's going on in Tuscaloosa, Graham. Yeah, let's get into brass tacks here.
The thing just drives me nuts because like Alabama is like my favorite team to watch this year.
They're so fun. So fun.
I mean, their brand of basketball, like, hey, here's the best athletes in the world, and here's a basketball. Go dunk it or shoot a 3, and it's going to be awesome.
Yeah.
And I'm like, that's a ton of fun to watch.
It's a blast. Yeah.
Yeah.
But with that said,
I don't know. But like, I don't know. Back to your point, I don't know that the ranking. To me, it's like what the matchups that we have, because Michigan State can match up with a lot of people, but like you get a super strong defensive rebounding team like that, and a strong team that's very good on defense and rebounds the ball really well. Like, I think that's where Michigan State's in trouble.
Yeah.
If you want to try and outscore Michigan State right now, the way they're playing right now, they can hang with you.
Try. Yeah.
I wouldn't. And the thing is like, because they an all year, outside of for a minute and a half against Iowa, have been, one of the best 3-point defensive teams in the country. Like, at some point, that's not an accident, right? At some point, that's just not teams missing shots.
Right.
Like, you're doing something correct there. And I don't expect that to change, especially when teams are playing in new arenas, big, large venues, those sort of thing, which now I'm talking myself into, Michigan State's going to win a national championship. And you guys heard it here first. So
is March not the best month for March is the best month and the worst month of all time. Like, it is going to shave years off of our lives. But you know what? Like, after games like that, you do get that twinkle in your eye and a longing look. Just Houston. Yeah. And we could win there too. That's right. We're ain't just going to Houston. We're winning 2 games while we're there. Oh, it's so exciting. Oh,
we're
man.
sick. We are sick people.
I know. I can't wait to be punching the air when they're down by 8 points at the under 12 timeout this Saturday against Ohio State. Oh, it's going to be a great mental correction here. I'm just so elated tonight. Not that they won, but like, if they lost, If they lost, that would have not have been good, Graham. It would have not have been good. Like, there would have been some importance on Saturday. Like, odds are they would have made the tournament anyway, but the conversation is back. And this is a team that's now mentally reeling off back-to-back road games with just one more regular season to go. And you might be playing on Wednesday of the Big Ten tournament if you lost that game. Like,
yeah.
This game meant so much for so many reasons. Whether it's just the mentality of the fans or what the bracket the Big Ten tournament looks like next week. Like, this was a big one, Graham.
Yeah. And then we also would have had to listen to 5 days of people telling us that we should fire Izzo and the games passed him by and stuff and that whole thing, which is, really cool. And
it's great dialogue as always. Yeah. Oh man. I don't know. Maybe I would have even entertained it if they lost that game. I don't know. Mentally, I was not in a good place at halftime. I was,
dude, here's like, the thing is like a game about Nebraska. Nebraska didn't start the season off very well, but like Nebraska's turned themselves into a pretty good basketball team this year. Not great by any means. Like, that is a really like a very good win on the road. Like, the spread was 4. It wasn't 15. The spread was 4.
Yeah. Right.
So like, it was expected to be a close game.
Yeah.
It's just so hard to wrap your head around Nebraska being like good because it's Nebraska basketball. There's no brand to it.
No, new team every year.
Yeah,
like, Fred Hoiberg's got a tough job out there.
Yes,
in Lincoln. But like, you are right. They won their last 4 games. They also beat Rutgers at the Rack, and I know that Rutgers has fallen apart a little bit right now. But anytime you win at the Rack, that's an incredible game. Winners of 5 of the last 6. I mean, and on senior night too. Of all nights, and you spotted them 12 points in the first half. Like,
yes,
that crowd is good.
That crowd was wild in the first half.
They were unbelievable. We had someone on from Corn Nation yesterday, and oh my god, I'm so disrespectful. Got his name, Justin Gerhardt, I believe was his name, and he was talking about how the place is gonna be rocking. And I think I was not in my head, but at the back of my head, I'm thinking, like, is that correct? Is that true? And yeah, lo and behold, he absolutely knows what he's talking about, because that place was electric.
Dude, Nebraska fans are crazy. They're crazy. Like, they're great.
I like them. Actually. They're a very fun bunch. I do enjoy them. But that's as good of a quad 2 win as you could ever find. I mean, just for what it means for the season. And
it's a really good win. Like, never ever be upset with a road win in college basketball on a Tuesday night ever.
No, especially coming off of a loss the way you lost it, because I mean, Graham Couch tweeted this. A lot of us were thinking about it, but like, we're about to find out a lot about Michigan State here, in the second half, and also going into that game as well. And we found out a lot about this team. Yeah. And what we found out is that I'm going to delta.com after hanging up, and I am perusing flights to Houston for the first weekend of April.
Maybe Chicago first. Just putting it up for the Big Ten.
Yeah, I guess.
Is it in Chicago or Indianapolis? In Chicago.
It is Chicago. Right? It is Chicago. You're all right. Yeah. It is Chicago. So, oh man, I'm gonna knock on wood before I just jinx everything hell out of everything. We you know what? We just lost that first 6 versus 11 game after just talking the way I did. But oh well. If not for nothing, it was just a fun conversation.
Call your shot. Who are you going to lose to?
We are going to lose to North Carolina. Yeah, I'm going to speak it into existence. Do you think the committee's going to turn down Tar Heels versus Spartans round 1? Are you kidding? That's going to do better ratings than the Final Four. So, yeah. Tar Heels.
I would. If they play North Carolina in the first round, I don't get upset about too much. And I try not to let sports affect me too much.
Yeah.
I would legit be like, that would piss me off.
I would throw my beer glass at the television, and I'm not like an angry person, contrary to popular belief. Like, I keep to myself. Usually, I just like sink into the couch and I'm just despondent. But like, no, that will get me up like punching drywall if we're paired up with Tar Heels in the first.
I don't think you're an angry person. Spiteful, but not angry.
Yeah, irrational. Yeah, unhinged in March, especially, but like a quiet unhinged. Yeah.
We all are.
But hey, thanks for jumping by and chatting it up here on Locked On Spartans. I'm sorry, go ahead.
Thanks for coming by just to criticize you and say goodnight. It is, it's 20 to midnight. It's almost March 1st. So,
March is in the air, baby. God, this is great. I love this time of year. I hate this time of year. And I always love talking to you, though, Graham. I never hate talking to you. Thank you for talking me off the ledge in the DMs during halftime that Michigan State would indeed win the game, as if you read the script. That was fantastic. Anything you want to say or anything you want to plug before we let you go enjoy the rest of the week? Okay.
No, I have nothing to plug. I'm moving out of state in like a week, and it's all I'm focused on right now. So
there we go. Laser focused. Look at you, man. We're going to be back tomorrow. We will probably be talking basketball, maybe some football, but we will definitely be talking gymnastics. We're having Mike Rowe, head coach of Big Ten champion Michigan State gymnastics, on the show tomorrow as well. So yes, a lot more action to come this week. Locked On Spartans, keep it tuned. Love you all. I genuinely mean that. Thank you for hanging out with us, guys. You guys are the best. Go Green.